Hello, everyone. Hope you're well on a Thursday night. It's kind of late on Thursday night, so you're probably watching this sometime on Friday or over the weekend. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still kind of reeling over this Texas shooting they had out there at that school. And I tell you what, I think a lot of the nation is reeling. Any fair-minded or sensible person would feel that way. Um, I saw an article earlier tonight, and it had the pictures of the victims. There were two teachers, and I forget the number of kids. I think it was like, I don't know, close to 20. And it showed the pictures of them and a blurb about each one. And I tell you, that's tough. I mean, 10-year-old kids, man. 10-year-old kids. A lot of them were girls. Uh, you know, it's awful. It really is. Um, I have a lot of questions about it all. I'm not going to go into it here. I just wanted to mention it because I think a lot of people have it on their minds. Okay, I'm going to talk about a different subject. And then I also have a passage from John in the Bible that I think is very comforting. So please want to stay tuned for that. I want to ask a question too. We've got a holiday weekend coming up, and we got Memorial Day coming up. And I just wanted to ask you guys, are you planning to travel? Are you planning to get in your vehicles and do some traveling over the weekend, or maybe even take a flight somewhere or cruise or whatever? But are you going to travel, especially in a vehicle with the gas prices the way they are? And or are you just going to stay at home or stay close to home? I know here we are planning to just stay close to home or right at home throughout the throughout the 3 day long weekend. So put in the comments, what you're planning on doing. It'll be interesting. I've been reading and researching this a little bit. This what they call forced outages, electricity, and it's a bit disturbing to me. Uh, there's been some stories out about how the power grid is vulnerable this summer, and that we could have a lot of rolling blackouts this summer, especially throughout the country, especially in the Midwest, out to the west and the south, because of the high temperatures, coupled with just the really high demand. You got droughts in parts of the country, especially out west. So there's been a lot of talk about there being um, power outages rolling throughout the summer. So I think we need to really prepare for that. But I was reading a little further in it, and it was talking about how, first of all, it talked about more of the geographical areas, especially Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and then over into Texas. So really, pretty much the Midwest, on west, west of that as well. But over half the country is at high risk for this. And but then I read also this is according to a leading energy economist, you know, so expert, an expert, but their opinion was that 70% of the United States grid is nearing the end of its life. Now, I had never heard that before, but I thought that was an interesting statistic, kind of scary. But 70% nearing the end of its life. Now, I'm trying to find more details about that, but and then they talked about forced outages. Now, what they mean by this is forced outages imposed on purpose certain areas to avoid a total failure of the grid. So, say, record heat waves coming in, high demand, you can't keep up with the demand, so they're going to start doing, rolling outages on purpose just to save the whole grid from just going down for a long time. That's the way I'm reading this. And again, this could take place over half the dang country. All right, but reading more into it, it's like makes you ask some questions, right? I mean, if 70% of our grid, or even let's just say 50, even let's be conservative, say 50% of our grid it needs upgrading, and I've heard that before, it needs upgrading. Heard that years ago. So, but instead of putting a lot of effort and money into upgrading our old technology and our infrastructure for our power grid, we're doing things like cutting off pipelines and sending $40 billion to Ukraine. You just go to through some black hole that just, who knows where it's going to end up, and then in the middle of an energy crisis where you've got, I think I read today where a barrel of oil is over, I think, $113. Somebody's getting rich off this, right? I mean, somebody's getting rich. It's not us. It's not you and I, is it? We're not in the club. Yeah. But they're about to put you in the dark. That's the bottom line, is they're about to put us in the dark. At best, just temporarily. But we need to prepare for that too. I mean, think about it. If you're 90 to 100 degrees with some humidity added in there, shirt sticking to your back, it's hot, and now you don't have electricity all of a sudden, and you're not going to have a warning. Even if it's at night, it's hard to sleep when you're hot like that. We need to prepare for that, y'all. I saw where Biden also said that, he said exploding energy prices were part of an incredible transition away from fossil fuels. So they want to get away from this. They want to turn it out on you. Forced outages are also a key feature of the WEF. We know what the WEF stands for, and their agenda, which we know is that, of course. So a key feature, forced outages. So we need to get ready now for this stuff, y'all. We're about into the summer. I know here in Georgia, we've had some 90-degree days. Now the humidity hasn't set in just yet, but buddy, when that comes in, whew, I'm telling you. Now I've heard out in Texas, out in Midwest, I know y'all have had 90+ days already. Whew, I've heard about that, but it's coming. But we need to prepare. Think about your alternative lighting, your alternative fuel, alternative cooling. Store a lot of water, plenty of water, okay? Now with the alternative lighting, solar is a good option. Solar lighting, even just your low tech, get some solar lights, put them outside. That way at night, bring them inside and you've got some lighting at least. Of course, candles and flashlights. If you have a generator, you need to store some fuel, or if it's solar, it should work, for solar. So, but at a minimum, I think we should be ready for rolling outages. For how long? We don't know. What if it's a week? What if it's 2 weeks? Hopefully not. But yeah, I think we're going to see some of that. Now, may depend on the part of the country you're in. If you're in the Midwest and the West, it's in the South, you may see it. If you're in the extreme Northeast, I don't know. Or if you're, it just depends. Okay. All right. Share your thoughts. I have a good passage, a comforting passage. You may have heard it before, but it is from John. John chapter 4, verse 1 and 3 says, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am." He's coming back. I think that's pretty comforting. There's a lot of freedom in that when I read that. And we can always hold on to that hope and that promise. We just have to keep the faith. Believe in him. Believe in God. Believe in Jesus as our Savior. Take care out there. You guys be safe. God bless you. See you soon.